So it looks like they gave this video to the influencers. This is not our official video. Khorne versus Cathay, Siege Battle gameplay. This is not official video, guys. So, did they play the battle? Who played the battle here? Full game audio, no commentary. Zerkovic has it with no commentary, yeah? Okay, I guess we can check this one. We can check this one. So the purpose of this is to see how the AI behaves in a siege, and to compare later with Warhammer 3 release to understand why the delay, if this was a reason at all. Because guys, I'll be honest with you, my expectations are higher for Warhammer 3 since they delayed the release. So let's see. I'll be commenting on this. Thanks to Zerkovic, he released a video on his channel, but there is no commentary. So we're gonna be commenting instead. When was this video released? Holy shit, it was 10. What? Yesterday? What? Maybe he released one without a commentary as extra video. Development in progress. Look at those smooth walls. First impression. Are we in Mr. Pandaria, guys? I haven't even played the expansion. I'm just messing. Okay. A gate here and a gate here. 2 towers, 2 towers, 1 tower. Liking the look of it. Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne. 38 speed. Light armor. One thing, guys, I have to tell immediately, looking at the Khorne unit cards, it looks like everything is on fire. Like everybody's mad. I guess that's his team, right? What? 2 gates, no towers. Haven't they not learned anything from that Skaven settlement on the left? 2 gates, no towers! Jesus. Why did they do stuff like this? I guess they want different deployment here? Is this for the multiplayer experience? This is just bad design for the campaign. Guardian of the throne. This is the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, dual weapons. 28 speed, very slow. Looks like same HP as the Chaos Warriors. Solid charge, 36 attack, average, but they do have anti-infantry. And frenzy, so puts them 8 higher. So very high damage, but very slow. Mightiest Khorne demon. This is a Bloodthirster. 7,732 HP. Physical resistance, magic resistance. The greatest of Khorne's demons, a Bloodthirster thinks only of the hunt and the skulls to be gathered in the Blood God's name. So he's flying, so his stats have to be balanced for that. It looks like what Manticore should have been. Did they change magic resistance? They did something about magic resistance. This unit looks like a Minotaur unit with great weapons.
Followers of chaos.
So it looks like the Cathay is firing some kind of rockets. There's nothing on this side, no wall defenses.
Hordes of chaos.
Looks like the AI has deployed on here, deployed everywhere where they put the units as well. This is their old behavior when they're guarding the gate, even if there is nobody there. So they haven't changed this. This is actually a bad thing. You see that unit there? That old behavior. You can see one unit here and one unit here. That looks like that old bad behavior when they have to just cover stuff instead of consolidate forces where it matters. We'll see if they move those units. They might be just initial deployment. So this is pretty much the same thing.
It brings destruction.
And the units that were supposed to be here, maybe they can't put units here on the wall. Why they haven't deployed anything here on the wall? There should have been an archer unit here, an archer unit here, and some kind of sword unit here. I mean, against Khorne you can get murdered in melee, but there should be some kind of units definitely on this side here.
Exalted bloodthirster.
There's a balloon flying in the city. This side actually has a couple units on the walls. And look at this, the tower is about to make contact with the walls, they're moving away from it. This does happen sometimes in Warhammer 2 as well. This is an AI that keeps giving inputs and it's not sure what to do. Which is one of the reasons the gate bug happens. Look at this, this is pretty much same as in Warhammer 2. Why are we expecting the AI to change in this game? Because they said it. They said it in the blog. But what looked to me as a bullshit pre-purchase booster, you know, text. But they said it. They said it.
Chaos warriors of Khorne.
No, it was this AI. They were talking about this AI here. No, they were talking about this AI here. If you missed it, watch my Jibber Jabber about siege rework. It's about sieges, and we are watching a siege here. If you missed that video, check it out. It's everything there. So this side looks good. This looks good, and the player is playing into it. I am not sure why they're moving this unit around. It's like they lost all the shots. They could have been shooting at this unit even from that other side. Sometimes the AI moves a unit from here to here, and there's a ranged unit, and they start shooting already from that unit, which they learned from the AI. They put in the center of the wall, and they are using basically as a ground unit. They can shoot here, 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 or here. They don't have to shoot there or there. So, but they kept moving. The fact they keep repositioning things. This is like the things that need to be patched all in Warhammer 2. So they haven't done anything about this repositioning. Look at that unit there in the corner. Like, what the fuck is up with that? This makes sense here, considering it's 2 units.
Northern barbarians.
They are doing the same old thing where they deploy units in a wrong position, not facing the enemy. So this is the same as Warhammer 2. Range unit watching the town instead of trying to shoot down here, or being at the bottom of the wall, shooting over the wall. The AI sometimes put a unit on the bottom and shoot over the wall as well. This is probably the worst behavior of the battle AI in a siege, when they randomly deploy random units, not even picking between melee and range. Sometimes the range units can face a siege tower, and a melee unit can face, you know, inside of the city, like you can see here. And they literally, you know, just it's randomized. There's no logic to it. So this is still the same as Warhammer 2.
If Khorne commands. Go! Fist of Khorne!
So it looks like the AI is indecisive there with a swordsman unit. The swordsman unit could have easily been on the wall here. Of course, the player is playing Khorne. They're gonna murder guys in melee, but it not only would have looked better for the AI, but it would also been better for the attacker. So they immediately meet some defenders on the wall to fight. But that unit seems like indecisive, just moving back and forth, back and forth. This is another behavior from Warhammer 2. There's a unit guarding gate there, but nobody's attacking the gate. This is a thing they need to fix in the battle AI behavior. If nobody is in front of the gate, the units should not be there. If there is a player unit facing the gate, then they should need to consider priority if they should move units there. If there is nobody there, or nobody facing the center, the units should not be there. They should constantly try to help with the engagement, or just deploy closer. And if somebody is facing that direction, they need to move towards there. It's like a simple thing to do. And even if after a million hours it could, be readable, it's still the right thing to do. They should not be putting units to guard the gates that will never get attacked. Instead of putting those units in an area where they will help with the unit morale, will flank the enemy unit. 2 versus 1, always better. If it's 2 goblins fighting a graveguard, it's always going to be better. And instead of that unit being on the other side. What is the what if it is to counter stealth units? Nah, that's just nonsense. That's just nonsense. Thinking about stealth units, that's different. I think it's almost some kind of brain dead difficulty thing. That they don't really improve across the difficulties. I honestly think that's why they did it. Have you ever had a full stock army to see what the AI does? This is pretty much the proof to that. It's just random. It's more than anything. It's just random, depending on the layout. I think it's to make the AI do less overall, by keeping half the units deployed in positions in the city, just in case. So AI overall has to do less, instead of doing everything at once. Doing everything at once, of course, might turn into a Pepe meltdown, but in some situations it's required, and it looks better than just units AFKing in the corner of the city.
Yes, I will! There we go! Exalted Bloodthirster!
So they keep repositioning units in the city. And look at this, there's a ranged unit moving away from combat here. And it has a clear line of fire on the unit on the wall. This one is strange. This is new. It looks like they keep repositioning units. Because if you do this in Warhammer 2, the closest range units will start firing on the unit on the wall. But the unit is moving away from the wall. That is new behavior. At least they have one range unit here deployed that does something.
They die!
You see how they're still guarding the gate here? You see how these units are still doing here? Why is nobody trying to come here to pin these units while this one is shooting? This is like this type of shit should not be happening. 3 of them. Why 3? They're not dealing with night goblins. They're dealing with Khorne, which is direct. Like at least one of these units should be somewhere else. The fact these units are deployed like this, the other side is deploying in a similar fashion, and there are constantly 3 units moving throughout the city. It's just like lack of focus. Lack of focus and consulting forces to actually make any defense. And it feels like they're just like half the units are AFK, and several units are just running around trying to reposition, while the enemy is just getting clear entrance in the city without you know, much work.
Demon Lord of Khorne. Chaos Warrior.
So the bulk of the Khorne forces is attack the main gate without any towers. And look at what the AI is doing. It's constantly just moving back and a little bit forward when they get attacked. And it's trying to disengage again. And that looks like a swordsman unit. And look at this. They engage again and they start to move back again. This is a very strange behavior for a melee unit. Look at this, they're again moving from it. This is almost behaving like a skirmish unit. This looks like a sword unit. These jet warriors, I'm not sure what they are, but they look like a melee unit. You guys see what they're doing? They're constantly disengaging. Maybe it's something with Grand Cathay, but it looks like AI is going to have meltdown. You see this position again? This is like a third unit that is going to the right side now. What these bars? It looks like they present 75, 50, and 25%. You guys seeing this? This unit just keeps moving, going to the other side while the enemy is trying to engage it. And this is a melee unit. They're not trying to deploy formation to just like close a street or something. They just keep moving. And this looks like a melee unit. So that's Crossermen not trying to shoot the enemy and just trying to reposition to a different type of side of the city. And his unit just keep getting disengaging in a melee contact here. This is definitely new. And this looks like almost like Pepe Meltdown level bad AI. This is bad. But this is what people were talking about.
Northern barbarians.
They're repositioning while trying to be engaged in the melee.
Chaos Warriors of Khorne.
That the range unit did good there. But why is there no unit to help him there? There are two or three units above it, and they're about to get chased by a melee unit.
Exalted Bloodthirster.
And they're moving back and forth again. This is why the Warhammer 2 AI is at least, you know, doing something when they initially deploy. When most of the time they don't move at all. Well, this one just keeps moving around. So they from what you see here compared to Warhammer 2, in Warhammer 2 at least most of the units just going to be stoic there and just going to stand there and they're going to do more than what they're doing here. These guys moving around, it looks like just making it worse. Look at this unit here. Like, that one even looks bugged. Celestial Dragon Guard. It looks like they got engaged and they're just going down the wall and they're going back to the wall.
Chaos Warriors. Spread corruption. For the throne, Khorne sends me on.
You guys see that unit, this one here? It's like they're running away from engagements. This is almost like they're giving different inputs at all times. Look at this. There is a Chaos Spawn attacking some kind of looks like above average anti-large unit, and what they're doing, they're just disengaging. The same as those swordsmen were doing. Instead of they're standing and fighting, they're just disengaging like they're skirmishing. What the fuck?
Onward, Northmen!
And now they're engaging again. You see how they move forward? And they move... Guys, this will show you everything, okay? Pay attention to this unit card here. Pay attention to this unit card.
Northmen!
Fort, back. It's like, what the hell is this?
Embrace the fury! The Legion makes claim! Exalted Bloodthirster!
Now they can't move because they got surrounded.
Wrath of Khorne!
Literally, in that situation, for a unit like this, if they just stood there, would have done more. Especially at the gate. And that crossman that moved. Like, they feel like it was like 5 units that kept moving around. They could have done more if they just stood there. And they just stood there. Just AFK in that spot. Fire at will. Braced for the enemy contact. They would have done way more in that spot. And those units that are just AFK around, they're just making these things worse, because those units are moving around, and those units are AFKing around. They would have done way more if they'd done nothing. It's like moving around the city, and then engaging, and they're just disengaging again.
Carnage!
This reminds me a little bit of Rome 2, honestly. Especially early on. Indecisive AI in a big city. Moving around constantly. Why is it the moment that makes it larger, everything AI will work so much worse? You guys notice how the only good side that they did actually good was when that ranged unit that was AFKing there. It was just standing there and it wasn't moving, and it was just shooting on the wall. That was probably when they done best. So the AI unit done the best thing. They were doing nothing. They were just standing in spot, firing at will, and that was the best performance from the AI in this battlefield. That unit just needed a little bit more support, so they kept firing. They could have killed probably another unit.
Two knights! My savage duty! Praise the Blood Father! Hordes of Chaos! Slaves to darkness!
Two terracotta sentinels in the city. This doesn't look like a standard garrison. Those balloons and 2 sentinels. Hold on. I can't tell which way are these guys facing. Can anybody tell? Which way is this halberd unit facing? It's almost like they're facing here. But look at where the banner is. They might be facing here as well.
Slaves to darkness.
Oh, they were facing towards the large unit. Oh, maybe not actually. They actually turned pretty fast.
Guardian of the throne. Exalted bloodthirster.
Liking this voice lines for the Khorne. I mean, expected stuff, right? Look at this. It's the same shit like the below. They're running around when melee. And you know how I can tell you they're trying to run through enemy information here, and they're not fighting here because it's a little bit blurry, because their morale is very low. They're not trying to fight this unit; they're trying to just run through the unit. What if it's the victory points that are causing the AI to go pep meltdown? It looks like victory points all drawn to behavior. You can see this unit is not trying to fight this unit, they're just running around and trying to run through the unit, and this is confirmed by low leadership bar. And you can see the bit here as well. You see how they're pushing, trying to run through? It might be the old victory point behavior, but the AI is just pep meltdown repositioning.
Chaos Knights of Sedge. Slaves to darkness.
He said the Chaos Knights of Zincha. So this is the first big settlement that we see from Warhammer 3, and it looks poor. It looks like Rome 2 poor AI behavior, and might be something to do with the victory points.
Exalted bloodthirster. Northern barbarians. I serve.
The only Chaos Knight unit they have in this army are the what's that thing called with the weird beasties? What's it called? The from the cinematic.
Northern barbarians.
Skull Crushers of Khorne. So this is the only knight unit they have in the army, and they said Chaos Knights of Zinch. Skull Crushers of Khorne. Yeah, this is the only knight in the unit in the army, right? So there's something like audio bugs. Did these things happen? The AI handling of the wall was really bad. It's way worse than Warhammer 2. This is like Rome 2 level bad. Those units moving around, the victory points, the units AFKing on the different parts of town. That's the problem with a massive city. If you're gonna make a massive city, put a massive army in the city. Not 20 units, put it like to 40 units.
For the Dark Gods! The Skull Tail! Done! Followers of Chaos!
Well, this is early, guys. Development in progress, right? Take how much copy we want from this. But this is poor. Especially after that blog they were showing with talking about improved AI that clearly looked like they were just trying to boost pre-purchase sales. The last Jibber I did on the Siege rework. I wanted to see this if they make any improvements over this. Why the delay, right? But this is, I'm telling you, this is a wrong 2 level bad AI in a big city like this. This is what happens when you create a big city. The garrison in the city has to be massive to avoid their positioning, so they can consolidate forces on the attack and not just move around and AFK. 1/3 of the forces will be on the wall, 1/3 of the forces will be repositioning, and 1/3 of the forces will be AFK. That's why cities like this need massive garrisons to make the AI look better. The AI will not get better, but it will look better with more units. If they have less units, it looks way worse. All that repositioning was definitely a new thing, but this is probably due to the size of the city. Due to the size of the city. So this is work in progress, right? Well, yeah, we have to see in 2 months, right? They probably have early access in about I would say 5 to 6 weeks. I'll not be covering any of that. And you guys might see some improvements there, or if they did any changes. But this is quite poor. This was at least yesterday. I guess he did it with no commentary. So one of the comments says here, can't say the AI defended this city the best they could. Well, that's what we get from people begging for bigger siege maps for so long. Just bigger and emptier for the illusion of choice. Yeah, that's the problem. I feel like more people are paying attention to Khorne army than actually on the AI behavior here. Yeah, this is my opinion as well. The city is too big for that. There should be more infantry. There should be a position where the AI can create a mosh pit with a bottleneck. Because guys, thinking about this for a second. Usually attacking one side, if you have explosion damage, bombardment, and one wizard with a couple of spells will just destroy everything, and the rest of the city will just abandoned. The big cities should have more than 20 unit garrison. This is probably the biggest issue with Thrones of Britannia and Rome 2. They don't give you enough garrison units. And they're taking the looks like the large cities from those games in this game and have nothing done with the AI. It's the same shit. From watching at this video. Yeah. Well, that's it, boys. That's the battle I was wanting to show you. People were talking about. This is I think last month they were talking about this. The poor AI in the siege. I'll be curious to see if anything gets changed. But this is nothing surprising to me, guys. Remember, I played a shit ton of Rome 2. We played some Thrones of Britannia, and I see similarities and even same AI behavior. But they're definitely closer to those games than what Warhammer 2, because you know it's the cities taken pretty much from those games. I think one way to fix this would be just to make the garrison larger. It will make the AI look better. If they can't improve the AI, they should just at least try to make it look better. That's all I'm gonna say. Without going into, you know, this is complicated, ass kissing and stuff like this. Anyways, boys, I'm done for the day. I'll see you next time. I most likely gonna play Beastman next time. Thanks for watching.